God. This is going to be an upset, it looks like. Dad's not doing so well health-wise between August 23 and August 2024. He is shocked. This is almost like a futuristic thing that's happening. The future of the royal family. Somebody who isn't taking it anymore. 8th house is revenge. He's getting some kind of revenge. This is really a part 2 because I don't think we got to everything. And the first episode was so popular. There is so much to learn from astrological charts and even tarot cards when we're asking specific questions. And when we were talking about Duchess Meghan, we really were able to get specifics about what was about to happen with King Charles and that they were going to be on TV again and a bunch of other things. Now, next week, for those of you who are interested, a lot of interest in Black Moon Lilith. And, oh, thanks, Colby. So I'm going to do a call-in show. It's going to be something on the order of the Black Moon Lilith show. We're going to pinpoint where your Black Moon Lilith is this year and talk about it. So if you're interested in calling in, you can go to the About tab on my channel and just send me an email. And there's already a few people who are interested, but I'll definitely put you in the queue. So what do you guys say we do some cards? And let's do something that we really would like to know that we're going to find out today. Maybe, nothing too negative or imposing or I don't know. I just want something to know that we didn't before that might come to light today. That's what I'd like to know. Oh boy, it is the star. Oh, the star has fallen. I wonder who is the star. Hi, Marion. Nice to see you. And I've got Toy, Colby, Natalie, Inga. Great to have you all here. It's the middle of the day in the US, so it's nice to have a smaller group. Now, what do you think, Marion? We need you. The reverse star. This seems like a no. No, we're not going to find out anything. I hope that's not it. We're going to just take a look real quick at Princess Kate's birth chart. I had some thoughts about it, and I wanted to see what you guys thought. Let's see. The star is normally an older woman. Upside down, reversed. Could it be me? Or could it be Camilla? We don't know. Hopefully it's not my set falling down like last time. We need some clarification about the information that we're going to get today. Who is this person that is the star reversed? Oh boy. Oh, okay. So, well, I hope Princess Catherine isn't dabbling in that, but it looks as if there's some type of fall of a relationship. And who could that be? What do you guys think? God. Well, I kind of see something like that in the cards. We'll look at that in her solar chart. Now, funny enough, Princess Diana is a person that follows under the card. Whoa. Okay, so maybe there's some kind of a theme. Of course, there's always a theme around Princess Diana every year because it is basically the palace and she has such a legacy there. But maybe something is coming up about Princess Diana. Hey, Inga. Cicada, nice to see you. And, oh, Astronaut Kim is in the house. TJ, good to see you. Well, all right. So we've got the star, we've got the lovers. And these are the two cards that I asked about that could give us some kind of insight on what we might learn today in this episode of Royal Revelations. Now I'm going to put the chart back up. I'll just keep that there. Notice how, remember when we were looking at the Super Bowl chart? And sometimes I'll look at a chart and I'll see something, and we're talking about something really happy and exciting. And, you don't want to. You don't want to mention things that could potentially be negative. But I know a lot of you joined me in thinking that we saw Mars at 22 degrees. I think it was Mars. And it was right there in the fifth house of fun. And I almost said something like, well, there's somebody there that could be dangerous, But we were talking about the Super Bowl, so it didn't make sense. But sure enough, that 22 would tell us something. And what do we have here? We have 22 in Princess Kate's birth chart. And why is that so significant? Well, it means a dangerous degree. It doesn't always mean kill or be killed. I have 22 Uranus in my 12th. So sometimes that just means that maybe I'm nervous about it because the 12th house is the fears. But with this, the south node, her south node is in the sixth house. And it plays a pretty big part here because it is conjunct her sun, the royals. What that says to me is not only are there dangerous people around that she has to deal with, but the south node shows somebody who could be religious too. Maybe somebody like a terrorist organization. So, oh, hey, just observing. I'm so glad you didn't just observe today. Third party yeah, I know. I think we're going to need to get down to that because I see something in the chart and, we'll just dust lightly over it because it's a painful thing to not only potentially go through, but then to have everybody talking about it. You wouldn't want that. So, all right. So I think like the South Node would be somebody like a terrorist organization like Hamas or something like that. And it's just in this big T square. Now that can be good because when you have something that's dangerous like that in a T squared, it means that there's security, there's people that basically are holding this potential threat off. So I like that. But at the same time, it's pretty close to her. And not to say anything specific about a terrorist organization, I'm saying it generally because that's what happens with any royal family. They have to deal with that danger. And I think that we forget that sometimes. We think of how good she looks or how thin she looks or what's going on with her family. And oh, there's a new picture that's up. And oh, she's doing a great job with that, list of organizations that she's speaking to. But we forget about how it truly is. You're making yourself a target. So I think that's something to be said about her birth chart. And so moon represents hidden enemies. Moon in Cancer is pretty strong, but it's at 18 degrees. So we could see who is this to William. So we go to the seventh house, which is William. And then we count starting with his house 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So somebody in the fifth house of family is potentially not so nice to her. 18 degrees shows could be somebody that just swears a lot because it can mean just something bad, but often sometimes can mean mean or somebody who comes off as very mean. So there's that. And Rachel, you say, I think Kate is even more popular than Diana at this point. The institution should be very careful. Yes, totally agree. Okay. And Marian, you're saying where the lover's reverse could be going is a choice is non-fulfilling or making the right choices going forward. Okay. Interesting. So So we've got, this south node element here, and it's in the sixth house of routine and work. So obviously, they need, as much security as they can get. Now, in her birth chart, let's see, one second here. Uh, okay, hey, Stargazer, nice to see you. Um, you've got so much in the third house. And remember, Pluto is the monarchy, basically. And you've got Saturn, which is an old monarchy. It means structure of the monarchy. And it really squares her sun. Her sun is her vitality, being able to show your ego. Now, I'm sure she's getting plenty of ways and channels to show her ego, but it just seems as if this seems oppressive. And of course, it's in the third house of speaking. So we don't see her speak too much. And let's not forget the third house is the house for siblings. Really, for Harry, it would be the ninth house, and Mars is in the third house. I really read that to be like she, up to a certain point, saw Harry as her own brother because you can see the third house from her significant other is in her third house. So it was, they basically grew up, they were kids together, and she saw him as a little brother. But, he had to go ahead and be angry. So there's Mars there, angry relationship, angry wife because of Libra. Libra would be a wife. And also he's right next to Saturn, which it can also represent someone like Meghan, a beautiful, beautiful woman. So lots of stuff that can be represented in her third house. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to talk about, except when you're looking at your birth chart, you can see Venus when it reflects when you're between 18 as a woman and about 45-ish. Then we start getting into Saturn here. And Saturn, it trines part of fortune. Saturn or Pluto, right next to Saturn is the monarchy, and it's also inheritances. So it looks as if, despite this, I guess, what would you call it? Limitations because of the security, she becomes very, very successful when she's probably in the 50s range, and gets all of the all. Now, yes, but she's retrograde. She'll be retrograde throughout her life as a woman, as a younger woman. But now when she changes to Saturn, it'll be a whole different profile. So kind of interesting to see that, I think. Hey, Meg, nice to see you. Okay. Marion said, I did hear they were trying to figure out Prince George's school situation. Okay. Okay. Natalie, you're saying Catherine is nowhere near as popular as it's Princess Diana. Princess Diana was loved worldwide. Catherine is only beloved in the UK. Oh, that's quite a big statement. That's brave. That's brave. Okay. But a lot of people love Catherine. And just from my stats looking at, it's probably the highest amount of views I've ever gotten so fast. And that was from Princess Catherine, that first show that I did. So I was kind of shocked, and not too shocked, but I was surprised that she would be more than, William, King Charles. Okay, so now we're developing a risk profile, and nothing too specific, of course. We want to protect ourselves, but we're going to look at what her level of risk is this year. And we're also going to look at other areas that might be very positive. And I think I should probably announce now that the solar return chart analysis has become so popular that I'm going to do a series on the solar return charts of murderers and which month you could narrow down when they would commit a crime. And that's also going to be next week. So we've got a call-in show next week, and we also have the murderer timelines and how you could see it using their solar return charts. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Yep, all around the world. So, okay. Kate isn't happy with William's choice of school. Catherine was jealous of Meghan. She did not want anybody to be more important to Harry than she was, not even his wife and kids. That's interesting. Well, I definitely know that they're close. Um, there's a certain deference that I think going into the palace and into that environment that one would have. And you would hope that Meghan would understand that. Like to walk in humble but it all fell apart pretty fast. I was really kind of surprised about that. You would think that it would be a slow I mean, if they weren't going to get along, it would take a little bit longer. But I got to say, I think Will's is very to the point. And so maybe that's what sped up all of the clashing there. Okay. Oh, thanks, Natalie. maybe that's why they looked at my show because they want to know what happened to her. Well, it looks as if oh no, there's fighting. Okay. Well, if I find out who that is, I will block them. No arguing. It's hard though, because you can easily see one side or another. And I'm a Libra rising, so I'll agree with everybody. Just depends on what day you get me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another card. And we're looking at the solar return chart. I'm so shocked. It is 2:30 Central Time, and I've got 80 people on here. I mean, I guess lots of viewers from the UK. That's probably why. Not that anybody works over here in the US. They're all working from home and bed rotting over here. But let's see here. So we're going to ask a question. As far as Kate's risk profile this year, what should she be considerate of? I don't want to say concerned about, because we don't want any fear factor, even though the risk word isn't very good to use. But what should Catherine think about this year a little bit more than she has already? How about that? Thanks, TJ. Oh, she's the high priestess. So I kind of asked a little bit about what she should be concerned about. So a high priestess. What do you guys think? And it looks like somebody is very powerful. Maybe she even has reddish hair. And that she's coming in somehow. I wonder who that is. I love that answer. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Marion. Hey, KK, nice to see you. Yeah, some days I'm just like, how dare Princess Catherine? Oh, she should do this or that. I can't really think of a time when I was actually like that. But I'm sure that I could side with someone if you made a case, because I'm a Libra. Then later on, my moon in Scorpio would do some research and silently disagree. So follow your intuition. Thank you, Toji. Okay, so that's what she should do this year. She needs to follow her intuition. Gotcha. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this off, and now I'm going to look at this chart a little bit more. We have, and the way you read this, most of you know, is you can pull your solar return chart. Some people don't, they don't get it. And you're basically going to go into AstroSeek. You're going to pull your birth chart. There's a little orange link that says solar. and whatever year you started your last birthday. You can't have had your birthday yet. So you go to that year when you had your last birthday and you click on that year. Then this won't pop up yet. A chart will pop up and you click on the solar tab above the wheel. It's on the left. So, and then that's when you're going to get this chart. Now, it's best if you know your time of birth because you're going to get a really good reading of the timing of your year. And when I look at this, I'm like, wow, there's a lot. There's a lot. Well, we've got T squares. We've got a lot of really positive things too. I would say that her month, starting her solar year, starts January 9th and February 9th is next, then March 9th. So every house for her starts on the 9th because that's her birthday. And so interesting when everything happened. She's recovering and it's been tough for her. So right in here, right in these first few days, what rules February for her? Pluto. And that means that in her household, somebody is feeling either betrayed, pissed, wants revenge, jealous, something pretty, let's just say it's intense. Pluto is intense. And so what are we looking at here? We're looking at this T square. It's pretty much a T square. There's a couple of T squares here. But this is activating, and there's something that has to do with her husband. It's basically what I think it is Will, and he's upset. Somebody they're feeling is getting revenge on them. And I think that's from that GMA that was just filmed, that GMA spot. So Aquarius, you're a visionary. So okay. Yeah, I love talking to Aquarius people or people who have like a stellium in Aquarius or even one planet in Aquarius because they just have this way of thinking and it's so far in the future and it's interesting to chat with those people. Crazy Cat Lady, you are a Libra rising. Hello and welcome. And yeah. So follow your intuition. Yeah, we've got some pretty psychic and intuitive people that come on here. Okay. I think, you know what? I want to add one more card. Oops. All right, so follow your intuition. We'll follow your intuition about what? What do we need to follow the intuition about? We're not done yet. Let's just keep going. Here we go. I'm shuffling. Marion, the cards that you sent me, they're coming soon. So I'll be using those too. Thank you so much. And so sweet. I love donations. And all right. So what does Princess Catherine have to be intuitive about? The sun. Okay. The sun reversed. So this could be, that can be your health. Maybe that's what she needs to be intuitive about, her health, her vitality. Could that be something? Wow, Pluto and Aquarius, that's amazing. Nice, Kristen. Yeah, it's important. I think it's important for everybody, but especially for Aquarius people to write down your thoughts, have a journal, because you'll go back and you'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I was thinking about that, 10 years ago. And here we are. So, yeah, I know we all love Diana. Still pretty shocking. Okay, so it's not terrible reverse. That's good. But be intuitive about maybe the ups and downs of her health. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, so now I'm gonna add this to the stage. Okay. And I got a new boom, by the way, and hopefully this takes care of all of the audio issues. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I think we're in good shape. Now, you've got to be observant about everything around you when you're doing certain big things, especially for me with the show. I like to know what's going on. And there always seems to be some kind of a noise. And it was right before we had a show. I think it was on one of the Royals. I don't know which one it was, but it was like two of the shows, there was an ambulance that kept coming in and out and police and whatever. And I was like, oh God. And I mentioned it on the show. And then it was like right after we heard about King Charles. Well, now I have these people outside, like they're like pounding on like wood. I think they're rebuilding something. So I'm like, well, what does this mean? Is this a rebuild that we're looking at? I don't know. Sun reverse means bad times. Okay. I think just looking at her chart. Okay, so now we're going to go through it. So January 9th would be a Libra month. It would be about relationships. It could be, now obviously it too was about she would lose something, possibly good because the South Node is there. And probably people telling her that she shouldn't lose any more weight because South Node in the first house shows usually that year that you're going to be losing weight. Now, I think that that might actually be a major, major discussion point because of that T square with the South Node in the first house of your identity, what you look like. So she might not feel as if she can be as glamorous as she normally is because South Node in Libra can sometimes mean, you have to let go of maybe like she wasn't at the BAFTAs the other night. She wasn't able to really dress up and be as glamorous as she normally is. And that would be Libra. Now we have, I always like part of fortune in the first house. And I mentioned that last time. She seems to be doing okay. It looks like a complete disaster. And I say that because of all the red lines and also because, well, she has an opposition to her sun, which is her body. And that's in the fourth house. And that around October just looks like at the very least, she could be very tired. She's not able to do as much as she wants to do. So, I might be exaggerating things. She might be up and about just in a matter of weeks and, really starting to get back on track. But this opposition does show me, and it's around October 9th. And how would you look at that? It would be January 9th, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. And then this is October. October for her is going to be when she's going to be thinking about her career, and also third house matters because the Lord of the MC for her in Cancer this year is going to be in the third house. So it looks like there's a similar theme in March, starting March 9th, coming up to April 9th. And there is a whole lot of stuff. This is the type of month you would have when you say, wow, it was just one thing after another. And so, because you see this stellium here. So, the thing about it that is good is that she seems to be on the same page as the seventh house, which is her partners and William. And looks as if There's a lot of foreign stuff too. It's also July 9th is going to activate this part of the saga. That's how you can kind of connect things. You go from one part of the T square to the next part of the T square. But that's not all, because you've got to look at the houses lords as well. And so that can make it up to 6, maybe even 8 points to look at. So I hope I'm not confusing you too much here. But May 9th was definitely a time when she would be around rage and somebody wanting to get revenge, or just feeling betrayed. Like, we really didn't want you to go on camera to talk about our family again. And here you go, talking to Christopher Reeve's son on GMA and, doing your thing and promoting your stuff. And so that might be part of that Pluto here. And Pluto looks really tough. And the reason I say that is because Pluto does not have any trines this year. The other thing too is, let's see, the moon. Okay, good. The moon for her is in Sag. All right. So there's still, for some reason, I thought it was in Scorpio this year. But the moon seems to be okay with partnerships to some extent and being communicative, third house. But the one big thing I would say, Pluto is number one, the toughest part of her year in the 4th house. And then also Neptune. Neptune is your health. It's a therapist. It's a doctor. And this doctor, I know she's got the best, but this doctor does not want her doing things. 3rd house is traveling, walking, even communicating. He's like, please, please, can you just, rest? Now, it can also show that if somebody's giving her medication, that it's not working 100%, or maybe she has side effects or something like that. So that can also hamper the recovery. Okay. Oh, hey, Angel D. Nice to see you. Pluto's at the top for me. You do, Cicada. Pluto and Neptune for her this year. Thanks, Marion. Yeah, it's amazing. And I think you're going to be really interested in the solar return charts for the murderers too, because it really shows what is happening, what their challenges are with the police, everything. Well, I have been a little bit vague about it because I feel weird talking about it, but we could let the cards tell us. So I am going to shuffle and let's see. Can you tell us? I'm not going to ask anything specific about health, but can you give us some kind of card that gives us a description of what she's having to go through right now? If it's this one card, I'm going to freak out. Okay. What is she dealing with right now? Okay. 8 of Pentacles. Oops. Okay. 8 of Pentacles, that to me is that she's not able to continue along with her routine, that she's kind of like, she's just having to sit still for a while. There certainly have been cues that everything's fine. Her sister is off gallivanting on vacation. That's true. And, but something definitely, 8 of Pentacles. Now it is 8. So 8 can be scorpionic types of things. Could be, but I think she definitely has been dealing with a health issue for a while. And I hope it is not the same type as Diana had. 6th house would represent what? Let's see. See, I'm getting good. I'm getting good. 6th house is the health. And so you're going to look at Jupiter, right on the 8th house. And then you also look at Neptune and Jupiter. If this was health, wow, it's going right into, we looked at this last time. Pluto is the biggest problem. Pluto can mean trash. And Capricorns are very happy right now because Pluto just came out of their sign and it was in there for a long time. A lot of transformation. I know a lot of Capricorns who had to do a lot of surgery over the past 10 years, and their whole bodies changed, and it was just absolutely devastating. So to have Pluto coming out of, Capricorn is really good, especially since she is a Capricorn. Now, her Pluto, she still has another year. Why? Because it gets kind of stuck there when it comes to what the energy is. So she's still going to deal with Pluto in Capricorn until this next January 9th, 2025. Yeah, that's a possibility. But, Pluto usually means the middle area. That's all I'm going to get to. I don't want to talk about that, but let's look at BML. Everybody wants to know where their BML is in their Black Moon Lilith, in their solar return chart. We looked last time, and you can see that it is right in the 11th house. Okay, sorry. And I was just looking at my microphone. So it is squaring Venus, and that's her this year. This is the third biggest challenge for her. She's got Pluto this year, she's got Neptune, and she's got Black Moon Lilith. Now, the 11th house can be social media. These are kind of mean people on social media. I think the biggest month for her is going to be March 9th to April 9th. This is going to be something, okay? Lots of talk in America. US is Sagittarius. So there's going to be more, we're only in here right now. And as soon as, now she might actually come out on TV and start talking. She is in the house for March 9th to April 9th. So she might be coming out, or she might want to, but there's a block here for some reason. That could be Will's family, because the 11th house is the 5th house from Prince William. So they might be blocking her from doing something. Then you've got all these people over here. And I think it has something to do with Will's. He's doing something. He might be doing a project. But March 9th to April 9th is extremely, extremely strong. And when the moon is in there, a lot of times that's really good. The public are talking about something, although it does seem like they're talking about her health, because this is all squaring Neptune. And so this could be Mercury there. You see Mercury in green there? That's gossip. So lots of gossip next month. So it's kind of like, Kate, you know what? Okay, March 9th, April 9th, it's going to happen. And then we move on. Then Saturn rules April 9th to May 9th. And it looks a lot better. It looks as if maybe more responsibilities for her are coming. Some good things are coming from, why? Because good things are coming from this month in May. You see that blue line there? Sometimes it's because everybody's gossiping about somebody else and how terrible they are and how they're doing this and that. And it kind of reflects favorably on Kate. Okay. So by April 9th, it will come out. Right. Between March 9th and April 9th. It's amazing how a lot of times things like right on that day that they're supposed to be changing houses, the energy changes, and it does for you and me too. It's like, wow, because the Lord changes. That's why. Right now it's Pluto, and Pluto's in the fourth, and that's down in the basement. And hopefully she's not. But then it's a good thing. March is a good thing because she comes out of that T square. And I'm thinking this is her health because Jupiter is squaring Pluto. She has had to transform somehow health wise, and it is painful. So now we have Jupiter is coming in as the Lord of March 9th, and it looks a little bit better. Looks like people are really concerned. She's being more responsive. But, we do have the husband right on the cusp of the eighth house of secrets. And we do have the seventh house of mate, which is Mars. So why do I have William squaring Neptune? Now, this could be that he disappears and, maybe he goes to the BAFTAs. I don't know. But there's something, I think there's going to be some news about Will next month, March 9th to April 9th. All of this stuff here, and then poof, it goes. So this could be simply something like at work, he decides to let something go. We're not doing that anymore. But it looks substantial. So these dates starting March 9th, going to April 9th are probably the most substantial, I think, for her year. Seems like some good stuff's happening. You want to look at your sun for when you've got confidence, your vitality, and so you can see a nice trine to Uranus in the eighth. This is something futuristic. This is something somebody said they're going to give her, and this is going to be May, June, July. This is August 9th. Ooh, August again. And it's sudden. Big month for the royals in August. But eighth house is basically inheriting a few things. So she does look like she's going to get some type of, and eighth house is inheritances because it's usually other people's things. That's a Scorpio type of theme or meaning. And if you were going to look at sometimes when you have part of fortune and it's got all this stuff and there are no blue lines, usually at the end of your year, you're going to be able to look back and really assess what you did and then say, well, maybe next year. It wasn't so good this year. But for Kate, there is some success. And I do not know why. Do not ask me why. But there are these three people here who are being very successful. Now, sometimes it doesn't just mean you. Sometimes it can mean other people are being successful in front of you. But she does get some benefit from it. So sometimes the more they talk about other people, the more they talk about you. That's a possibility. But so much there. Now, Mars in Capricorn. This is a person, it's a guy, famous man from the government right here. And there's some kind of, and I've already said this before, that it looks like there's a speech of some sort and that it could be historical because of Saturn showing this is history. This is something that whatever is being communicated next week will have been seen for decades from now. And so it seems pretty serious. Could have something to do with King Charles. Okay. Now, what I would like to know from Tarot is about Kate's month. If we can get any more detail here. Now, the ruler of the third house is Jupiter. And Jupiter represents trips, husband, teaching, learning, children. Children about the age of her kids. Okay. It looks like, fifth house represents kids. It seems okay. I mean, I don't like the eighth house, but it's in a trine. So it looks like she has control over what's going on. So I'm thinking, well, it's definitely a USA house, a foreign house. There's going to be something that is very, very famous coming out of it. There has to do with, there's healing. She's going to be talking third house, trine, Chiron, talk about healing. And there is a change with the family this year. Whenever you have an Aquarius in one of the houses for your solar return year, that's the year, or that's the month that something could be changing. So could it be a work trip? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's a possibility. Okay. Now I'm going to try to get some more information about March 9th to April 9th. And what can Kate expect? There are a lot of planets in that house, and there are squares. Thank God they're not just squares, because it would have been a hell month. There are some things that are coming out of it, that can come out of it. But what is all of this stuff happening from March to April? I don't understand it. If you could give us some more info. For Kate, for Princess Catherine. Okay, I'm shuffling. Here we go. March is 6 of Wands. Reversed. So, seems like not being able to be in the spotlight. It looks like there are people in the spotlight. This is about people in the spotlight and how there's a reversal of that. What do you think? I know, me too. Okay, thanks, Marion. Yeah, so a reversal, 6 of Wands. It is, now the Wands, I believe, are in the fall, but it seems as if something's coming up between March 9th and April 9th. So we'll have to check back here to see what that is. But it looks like this could be her. It looks like her from behind. Long hair, beautiful woman. And she's not able to, I think maybe there might be some awards that are coming up and she's not able to be there. So, yes. Ugh. All right. And I think if you want to look at her progressed chart, she has just that T-square in that second house. It's so interesting to see something like that, because with people who are so wealthy, it's like, well, how is this affecting you? But there's just so much rule. There are so many rules about the money. And all of that stuff is affecting basically government, 10th house is government, and her career. So she might have thoughts about what she wants to do, how she can be effective, how can she change or be a change maker. And she's being told no a lot. And then also in the 9th house, this is where you can feel pain in your progress chart, and well, in any chart. And so you can see how Chiron's in the 9th house, which is the house of Harry. It causes her pain. So that's definitely part of her progressed house. And the 6th house is in Aquarius. So there are upsets. Aquarius can mean changes, but she's got the right doctors. You've got when you have a nice Neptune trine here to your sun, this is good medicine, good doctors. It's interesting how in the progress chart, it looks as if everything's fine, but with a doctor. But then in the solar return chart, there's a square with Neptune. So I think what that might mean is in general with the progress chart, she's going to be okay. But maybe this year, until her next birthday in January of 2025, she might not agree with the doctor, or she doesn't get a good doctor or something like that. There might be some problems. There is a square with the third house and Uranus. And that's an upset mentally. Uranus in the third house. So she might be frustrated about things. There might be a mental breakdown, and she just needs to take a mental break. So I don't like to see that. I don't like to see that Uranus squaring her, which is the sun. She's the sun in her progress chart, and she's also Mercury. And it just seems like things really important to her are blocked at the moment. Will's is Jupiter. It's squaring her. Her mind is about Aquarius things. And sometimes that can mean breaking off things, changing relationships. It's not easy being her right now. Okay. 6 of Wands is no victory. Reversed, you mean, you said 6 of Wands reversed is no victory, health problems again. So yes, that could be for March. Thank you. So between March 9th and April 9th, some like little upsets there. And then also dealing with all of that's, I think, probably the biggest thing. Not only is she dealing with the upsets with the health, but then she's suddenly, the way that the Duchess and Duke are talking of Sussex these days is, look, we're respectful of everything everyone's going through, but we have to get on with our lives too. And we're sorry if things aren't, scheduled correctly because we don't communicate. So how are we supposed to know? So that's from their mindset, probably how they're treating things. But we could probably look and see when Harry's coming in. And so we would look at Harry, and he is Gemini. So obviously between March 9th and April 9th, you've got Harry in there, and he is not able to do something. Oh, that's weird. It looks like there might be news about Harry, and there's a square with Neptune. I don't know. There's some kind of news about maybe his health or something that has to do with maybe a creative project or something. It's he's getting blocked, and it looks like he's mad too. Mars is to be mad. So they're blocking him somehow. I'm not sure how. Mercury is here. So that's him. That's Harry. Okay. You know what? It might be Harry coming in, because you can see you've got Mercury, and of course it's 2, or Gemini represents 2 people. So this could be, maybe Meghan's in there too. And they go as a family. This, Let me think. Whatever this is, it's pretty famous, because you have all of this stuff, then Jupiter adding to the fame and this famous communication. It's a famous visit. There's so much in this I wouldn't be surprised if there's something going on, like a big visit or something. But you really basically want to look at the fifth house for family relations, and anything with Harry associated might be that month for him. So March 9th to April 9th. Then you have um, fifth house of family. So we're going to look at Uranus, and that's in the eighth house. I mean, that's eighth house matters. These are inheritances. These are getting things squared away. If I were to look and see, remember we were talking about August being a big, big year. We would really want to look at, because remember, this is Princess Catherine. So we're going to look at Prince William. He's mad this year. It's in Aries. He's mad. And so we're going to look at, okay, so this is Prince William here. Jeez. Next to Harry, and they're doing something that is extremely famous, like crazy, but there is something that they can't agree on. And so now what we're going to do is let's look at Princess Diana in her chart. We've got William, and you know what? Princess Diana would be normally we would look at the 10th house lord for mom, but because it's the kingdom, we look at the 4th house lord for him. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So she's going to be the moon. I wonder if this is a Princess Diana type of movie or something where they can't agree on it, but maybe they're honoring her or something. But they're all together with Princess Diana in the 3rd house. They're talking about her for some reason. How she disappeared too fast, square to Neptune. That kind of gives me, like, I don't know. The creeps. Not the creeps, but I don't know how you would explain it. There's something here. Oh my God. Okay. Saturn can mean the father, but that's her father. Big time stuff in March and in May. Biggest months for her, March and May. And those are my last words on that. I had to talk that through. Now, for his dad, it would be the 10th house. His meaning Prince William. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that would be Saturn. This is the king. So it's like all the family is together for something family related, something futuristic. I've said in the past, there's something that is about to be launched that has a lot of significance for the future. Could be space. They're launching Prince George to the moon. But I don't know. It seems like something Aquarius related. Hi, Sully Spirit. Nice to see you. William wants to give Diana her title back when he becomes king, too. That's right. You reminded me that. Yep. There's a possibility. But I think that just at least for this year, it really looks like Charles is putting his foot down and he says, the future, Aquarius, of this monarchy depends on you guys getting along. And so you get over here, bring your kids, bring your wife, you over here. We're all going to talk. And then it just blows up like the internet. It's the most famous thing you've ever seen. So that's my prediction coming up March 9th to April 9th. Seems like it could be good. They're all like having dinner and they're talking about their mummy or something. I don't know. I can't imagine that, but anyway. And I think I'm going to do some cards and let's I'm going to ask the question about that, something a little bit more detailed. Thanks, TJ. Let's see. What is this very famous thing that's coming up between March 9th and April 9th that involves the king, both the boys, and Princess Diana, and Aquarius, meaning the future, and in the 5th house of family? What could this possibly be? But it's squaring Neptune. Hey, Carrie, nice to see you. What could it be? What could it be? And it's going to happen between March 9th and April 9th. Could also happen in May as well. So maybe they're planning something for May. So it could be March or May. Could be behind the scenes March. I don't think so though, because Moon is in there, and that means something very famous. The public know about it. So what could this potentially be between the entire family? I think I know what Neptune is. I think it's Mummy's ghost. Neptune is a ghost. Okay, so what is it? Oh gosh. Ooh, 5 of Pentacles reversed. All getting together. And now this is actually good because it's reversed. And so it could mean that, we're moving forward. We did feel really, really like there was a closed door, a locked closed door. So this reversal is that we're going to reverse that. We are going to take that energy and we're going to flip it now. And that, I think, I don't know, Murray. I don't know. I think it's more positive, but you could be right because Neptune does show that something goes missing. Let's see. This is, yeah, it looks like some kind of a negotiation because this is obviously Harry and something, he has to leave something. It could be that sometimes people try to deceive and they're not able to. Like, no, I promise you there's nothing else coming out. And they're like, well, we know something's coming out. Such and such told us. So sometimes that can be the case. So it's interesting. They're definitely all getting together, like phone call, whatever it is. I think he's going to be local because usually, I mean, 9th house is Harry, and he's in the 3rd house of locality. Now, Mercury is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius can represent the US. And remember how he was talking about wanting to change his citizenship? Maybe they are talking about that and how he has to leave something behind. You can't do both, Prince Harry. You have to choose, something like that. And then he leaves something behind. Sagittarius's leg. He leaves his legs behind. No, this is leg. Oh my God. I'm glad I talked that through, and I didn't mean to laugh. Okay, a square to Neptune does represent disability. And so that can show something that happens where could be an Invictus Games announcement, maybe something about, Wounded Warriors, that kind of thing. I mean, I've said as much as I can. I mean, what else am I going to get out of this? Except it looks like a group of famous people because that moon is in there with all those planets. That's fame from the US. It's a shame because, that one day is going to come and the palace is going to say, well, we do need him for such and such. And then suddenly they're nice to him, but right now, they can't see it yet. And so, and it sucks because you want your family to just support you and you don't want them to have to, you know, think of a reason to support you. Oh, you think they'll be exposed? Who's going to be exposed? Oh, hey, Taurus Moon Tarot. Oh, you saw that. This is bring someone in the, oh, that could be Harry. Yeah, so it definitely looks like a reversal. I don't know, Shauna, that's a good question. Resources, loss of faith, but it was reversed. Colby, you have a feeling? Oh, come on. Just give us a hint. Loss of a lover. Hopefully no lovers, but that's the problem with Leo, you've got lots of lovers. Not all Leos, but the classic royal Leos. There's always going to be talk about the fifth house, and the eighth house. So, all right. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And it's only Monday. We've got this whole week. It's my birthday week, so I'm taking off a day. But I will be back with some more content this week, including a few about murderers. And also, I'll be talking more about Black Moon Lilith. So make sure if you've got an interesting story that has to do with your Black Moon Lilith, let me know about it and I'll explain more about it. Now, this will be for the members only, at least the call-in portion for Black Moon Lilith, that show. So, and then I'll release it to the public later, but should be interesting. Black Moon Lilith is the villain in your chart. And for Princess Catherine, the villain is in the 11th house. Now, that could be social media. That could be community. The 11th house is ruled by the sun. That's royal community. And there's somebody in there, maybe that she works with Virgo, somebody who's being very, very critical. And she doesn't care for that person. So, and she might have to talk with them because her planet is in the third house of talking. She has to talk to that person. So thank you, Doji. Thank you all. And I'm so excited to have a new solar return year. This one has been quite interesting. I'd like one a little more calm this year. I don't think that's going to be the case because my ascendant, mine's not on Libra like Princess Catherine's is this year. Mine is on Aquarius, but which I would like normally, but it looks a little complicated. We're going to find out what happens. So anyway, if you're interested in joining, just hit the join button. It's so easy and you can take advantage of some of the content, no ads, and also the Black Moon Lilith show, the call-in show coming in. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again for joining and participating and everything else. See you next time.